So.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Jimmy Palumbo Show. That's right. Of course, another smooth technical transition by myself, Jimmy Palumbo, alongside Dave Sturcio. Now, keep in mind, I hope you can hear me because I see all kinds of mute things going on, but it looks like I'm okay. Show number 226. Dave, how are we doing today?
Great. I'm not gonna lie, I was a shell of myself for the last month, 2 months because of this show leading up. But now that we're past it, I feel good. It feels like it just feels like a new. I feel like I'm back to normal. So I'm feeling good today.
There you go. Of course, the show was great. I was there. Let me move this over a little bit.
Appreciate you showing up and hanging with my brother, and
it was fun.
Some people recognizing you, and that was pretty. My brother got a kick out of that. He's like, they know him as Johnny Trino down here. I was like, I know.
A lot of people were like, dude, you're Johnny Trino. I'm like, holy shit. It was a great time. And of course, we'll get to that in a second. Your brother clearly said the funniest thing I've heard in 35 years at any event. But this is show number 226. Dave drinking water in my face here at Shea. And of course, number 26, that just jumps out of you. You got Juan Beniquez, old Yankee, and plus Steve Farr, another shitty Yankee there. El Duque Hernandez, of course.
Steve Farr was a pitcher, right?
What, El Duque?
No, Steve Farr.
Yeah,
pitcher.
terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. But
El Duque, of course, everybody loved El Duque. Then you got the Yankees' best hitter. They cut him, DJ LeMahieu. And I tell you, all the people that replaced, that was a good move. They've made like 35 errors since he's left, and they've gotten 4 hits as a team, all 4 by Stanton. And of course, you have Johnny Oates. We're going to get more into that. Johnny Oates was the backup catcher, like the bullpen catcher, who used to throw the ball back 100 miles an hour to the pitcher. Stephen Diddy's driving off the road on that one. And then you got my favorite number 26 by far. Is Rob Carpenter on the Giants in 1981. And here's why. When you want to talk, let's face it, since 1981, the Giants have, for 20 years, they were a terrible franchise. And then LT came in 81, and also Rob Carpenter came as their running back. It's the first time the Giants had a decent running back in 15 years. He carried that team. He had 750 yards in 10 games. He got traded from the Houston Oilers. He was the backup and fullback for Earl Campbell, and he was a dominant 24 catches in 10 games. Reason why we beat the Eagles in the playoffs and everything. And he had 400-yard games. That's unbelievable for 1981 Giants. Trust me on that. And then you have shitty guys like Bud Hebert. Got a second there. Any Giant fan is driving off the road right now. And then you got Barkley, I guess. And of course, but keep in mind, Rob Carpenter, I did read something that the Giants drafted that guy, John Tuggle. He was the last draft pick but he died of brain cancer. And he was a running back, and Carpenter was critical into mentoring him and really helped him get on the team, really. Parcells loved this kid.
When did Otis Anderson get there?
He came a couple years, like a year or two later. Okay. But Otis Anderson was on the roster and didn't play for a while. Everybody forgets that. Everybody thinks he got there.
All I know him for is that punch stiff arm.
The punch thing, right? But what I did read about Rob Carpenter was he was so devastated. This guy Tuggle got brain cancer quickly, and it killed him, fast. And it totally freaked out Rob Carpenter that he asked for the Giant, he wanted to get out of New York. He had to he literally went to another team because he just was so crushed. I didn't know that. I didn't know how tight they were. And then, of course, for your dad, Preston Pearson, another Cowboy from back in my day when I was young, and the Cowboys, and Roger Staubach and all those guys, Danny White. But he was a Staubach guy for sure. And there's some other guys, number 26, that I can mention. But
Kevin
not gonna,
Kevin Smith of the Dallas Cowboys, 92, 93, 95, Super Bowl champion Dallas Cowboys.
Yes,
And the only reason why I
yes.
know that is because I bought a $5 8x10 signed from Joe Covino, and he's number 26. And
There
it's
you go.
it's now hanging in my office at the studio. So
Plus, I think he got like Boog Powell and guys like that. But that's my number 26. But now, of course, I can't find it right now as I'm looking. I had everything right here. It's baseball card day at Shea. Where the fuck did I put the card? Oh, here it is.
well,
A well-produced show here by Jimmy. I'm wearing my Phil Simms jersey.
training camp opens for business today, boy.
Opening. That's
Ready
why
to go.
we're doing it. What was I gonna say? So this guy's classic guy. Again, this is why I do the show. Your friend and mine, Gerald Clark, who you know nothing about. This is his 1991 card. Now let me tell you a little something about old Gerald here. He played 7 years, 88 to 94. He played with the Padres, Colorado, and Minnesota. He batted .257 lifetime, 44 home runs, 200 RBIs. But there's something interesting about him. I don't understand this. He didn't play he played in the minors in 94 and then played with Minnesota in 95. But in 93 in the minors, okay, he batted he batted .282 in 1993, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in 19 that's not bad. Played all year, right? And then in 94 he was sent to the minors, where he batted .293 and hit 20 home runs in the minor leagues, right?
Nah, he slept with the owner's wife or something.
Had to be. And then in 95, he played with Minnesota, had a decent amount of at-bats, batted .339, and then was back in the minors for like 3 years and he retired.
Let's get him on the podcast. Let's figure out this dilemma here.
I don't anybody out there who wants to tell me what like no injury or anything. I don't understand. This guy was like not that good of a hitter, but every year he had a good year. They sent him to the minors. Maybe it was early Cashman that was handling that.
Tyson Hogan said he couldn't figure out stoppage time.
Tyson Hogan with a quick 3.
Oh man!
Also, his brother Phil played. Phil Clark, another guy nobody cares about.
The Clark generation. I got you.
There are, of course, there's 2 things about him, as I always do in my research. He was part of the first Colorado Rockies team, starting lineup. That's always.
Tell you what, that team, like, if I'm not mistaken, like
maybe like
year 2, it was like that was the team you selected in the video game. I remember me and my best friend John, God rest his soul, like we used to play as the Rockies because they had like Larry Walker, fucking Andres Galarraga, like the power hitters all over.
And also that was before they realized that someone said, hey, the ball acts a little differently here.
Hair's a little thinner out here. What's going on?
Thinner out here. Why is that? Why are guys who average only 11 home runs have 40 at the break?
Yeah, right. Dante Bichette. There's another one. Now his son is playing with the Blue Jays. Those fucking scumbags.
But he also is famous for one thing, and I couldn't find video on. I'm sure it's there. When he was playing, I don't know what year it was, but it might have been on the Padres against the Dodgers. He was on third base. And you know, sometimes the managers come running out of the dugout for a mound visit.
Sure.
But so it was Socia and Lasorda walked up to the mound, but nobody called timeout. And Clark ran home and stole home with Lasorda and Socia on the mound. I've never seen that. Have you?
No, so I would figure as soon as the manager or anybody steps on the field, you would think it's time.
Yeah, but maybe he was not quite. It was off a base hit, and he got the third. And
that's some bush league bullshit. I don't like
that. But they said it was an embarrassment for Lasorda. He never called timeout, and
Lasorda should have fucking tagged him out.
Or maybe the pitcher was on the mound. It has to be right. If you're off the mound, anyway. That was the one unique thing about him. So the unique thing is he stole home with Lasorda and Socia on the mound. And he was part of the first Colorado Rocky thing. And he's on the Lamar University Hall of Fame. Other than that,
excellent. What a guy. Give him a round of applause.
I can't find the damn thing on this guy. Why all of a sudden he was batting well and sent to the minors. So that's my guy, Gerald Clark.
I bet him third right now in the Yankees.
Yes. We're going to get to that in a minute. Of course, my Patreon. We're definitely mired now. We are definitely El Vopi, as we'll call it. But I got to give a shout out to the pillars of the Jimmy Palumbo Show, and they are Tyson Hogan, Darryl Clark, and Will Pena, Dying Breed Garage there, Jay. The pillars of, thank God for your family members. Otherwise, I'd have 4 Patreon. So, but I got to give a shout out to those boys. Hopefully we'll get a 52. We need a Pepper Johnson.
We need an Eric LeGrand.
Yeah, exactly right. But I for some reason I don't think of him. I just think of him as Eric LeGrand. I was at the game when he got hurt. I don't think of his number. Although my seats stare up at his retired jersey. But usually we're losing.
You were obviously. I mean, I know you're a season ticket holder, and for whatever reason, I think it was today. You know why it was today? Because when I went to the gym, you usually just grab a gym shirt and go. And I grabbed the Chop Sports Mike Tverdoff shirt that we had, right? And I wore that to the gym today, and I was like, man, I really look, the summer for me is fun. I love the pool, I love the swimming, I love the shore. And the show is over now. I'm starting to Jones a little bit for some football and some tailgating. You know what I mean? So
me too.
it's almost there. But I was going to ask you, just because of that situation with Eric LeGrand, you were there?
Yeah, it was at Giant Stadium. Here's the crazy thing. I think I've said this on the air before, maybe you with Chris. I was sitting there with my dad. You got to remember, his uncle, Jimmy LeGrand, played basketball at Colonia High. He was a tall, skinny guy. And I was younger. I was maybe 6th, 7th grade. We used to sit right at the bottom of the rim there. And he was the first guy he used to jam like vicious dunks. And he played with Mike Payne. They were very good. They went to like semifinals of the states tournament and all that crap. And I remember he was skinny. He was nasty on the court. He was my favorite player. You know, you're a little kid, you look up to high school players.
Sure.
And then so we're sitting. My dad was not a basketball guy, but he remembers the name because he would go to the games because my brother was in high school and he would show up. We walking distance to the stadium there. And so we're at Giant Stadium, and we had been explaining to my father because LeGrand was playing. And my dad was like, Dad, see that guy? His uncle was Jimmy LeGrand. And he goes, oh, yeah. And the uncle had also died. I don't know, tragically, or he got sick. I don't know anything about that. But he was like, yeah, I think he's dead now, the uncle. No. And next thing you know, literally 5 minutes later, something gets hurt. We see Shiano running across the field. And I'm like, oh, Frank, somebody's hurt over there. And all of a sudden we're watching. All of a sudden, like, they show the thing. I'm like, Dad, that's Eric LeGrand. That's his kid. And then you knew right away there was, thank God. I don't want to say thank God it was at Giant Stadium, but I know Rutgers now has everything you need. You can make the argument. I'm probably going to say something stupid now, but if that happened,
no, you can make the argument that his life was saved because it was in a professional setting.
I think so.
I
think there's been something written about that, and he ran out. You knew it was shitty. He never moved because we could see that from we had good seats,
right.
And his mother ended up on the field. Oh, it was awful. But however, I don't know if you saw that I don't know if it was on part of the Rutgers sites or somewhere, what Eric LeGrand really goes through every day. Like,
John Paz and Coach Harry just had him on their podcast, and like he went through the whole story again. And
maybe that's what I saw. Maybe that's what I saw.
Like, boy, oh boy.
I know he's like alive and like kind of well. He does the radio games and all that stuff, but like he's not really well. I mean, like he has to do a tremendous amount of things to breathe, to eat, to get in bed.
And doing all that, and he's a multi-business owner,
right?
So kudos to E, man. That guy,
I got to give him a lot of credit. He was dealt a
raw hand, and he fucking killed it.
And it's incredible. You don't realize. You see, he's in a wheelchair. He's okay. No. And he also can sometimes when you don't hear from him for a month. It's because he's in a hospital, and he's not doing well. Like, no, it's touch and go.
He has a breathing problem as is. So when he got COVID over that time, it was like we didn't know. We were like the fans and the family member. We didn't know we were ever going to see him again. So kudos to him again.
Just a kudos.
Perseverance to that. Is crazy
for sure. But
sorry to get off the topic there.
I know we got crazy off there, but that's okay. But we hope the number 52. So maybe someone will, in honor of Eric LeGrand.
Let's do it. No, seriously. Fuck it.
Like 52. We need Eric LeGrand.
And you know what? After you're done donating to donate to Eric LeGrand's foundation first, then join Patreon. How about that? Yeah. After you're done signing up for Jimmy, then donate to him.
Go to Eric LeGrand's got all kinds of things.
Yeah, great foundations. He's part of the Christopher Reeve Foundation and everything. So,
which of course, and speaking of Eric LeGrand, who is chasing miracles, you can go to chasingmiracles.com.
Decent segue, I guess.
Good segue day here from the Omni. Yeah, go to Chasing Miracles. They got these patches that are awesome. They got all kinds of cool stuff in there. This new drink vitamin thing, which I think I'm going to try to get them to send some stuff to you, Dave.
Nice.
Really cool. And Donna and Tommy are good people. They're really into this health craze and all that.
Mary Riccardi coming on in saying hello.
Oh, I think they're in the car. I believe my sister, my brother-in-law, and my mom are in a car driving to Virginia right now. So they are listening live. My sister Mary, Eileen, man, let me know if you're listening in the car, which would be very funny. And shout out to my brother-in-law Steve.
So no more driving off the road jokes if they're actually driving.
No, I can't do driving. Dave would have put back down by 12. It's nice. The Dave Sturcho getting involved here. That's a classic getting involved. If you want to know what getting involved is, that's what Dave just did.
You know what's so funny? And again, off the topic, but like way, way, way back in the day, it was like 2008 or 9. I was dating a girl that went to Rutgers, and she had brought out like a tray of food, like for a party at Rutgers, and she put it down on the table, and she's like, "Dave, you want some?" And I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Get involved." I'll never forget that. Like, and it's just like, and I was like, "Oh, get involved. That's funny. I'm gonna start using that." And then shit, you just killed it.
Well, again, anybody doesn't know what that really is from. That is from Marv Albert doing a game.
Getting involved here.
Knicks were up by 21, and Eddie Lee Wilkins hit like a little putback with like a minute and a half to go. And instead of explaining the play, he just went, Knicks for 2, and Eddie Lee Wilkins getting involved here with a putback, which is such a class. It's like a little bit of a negative, like you're not part of the main game.
You're right. You're like, yeah, this one's just joined the stat sheet. Like that's
people
great.
Think like it's like a positive like corporate environment. Like get involved. No, this means like all you really did was bring a little a cup of Joe from Dunkin' Donuts there. But so go to chasingmiracles.com and make sure you tell them that Palumbo sent you, by the way. So they don't have to bust my balls. All right, we'll talk about the Yankees. Listen, they're 4 games out.
Mary replied, no, yes, no, Steve. I don't know. No,
Steve
Steve.
Must have stayed home, so they're driving in the car. So
what the hell's in Virginia?
I have a family down there. My uncle's down there. My mother's brother, Uncle Dennis. Shout out to Uncle Dennis down there getting involved. So the Yankees. Listen, the Yankees. I don't know what. Okay. It's July 22nd. It's the Yankees are 4 games out. That's about what, 6 weeks to pick up 4 games like that.
It's so weird.
Like Chaz,
they can't hit.
Yeah, Chaz is batting 250. Wells is batting 219. Why is he catching? Volpe's batting 214. I think Ben Rice is batting 235. Of course,
but this is an every year thing, Jimmy. This isn't breaking news. Like the Yankees,
what do I always say?
Have historically not been able to hit.
When Giancarlo Stanton has a higher batting average than you, you could be cut. That's how I look at it.
Dying Breed Garage brings it up. Your mom says behave. I'm listening. But anyway, Dying Breed, does Boone have to go? So I was just talking to one of my best friends, Tommy, about this right before the show, and he said if the Yankees get swept by the Blue Jays. That'll mean that the Yankees will be down 6 games if that happens, right? You got to make a move either. Look, there's trade rumors, obviously, because the deadline's like next week. But like, you have to make a statement if you're Brian Cashman or the ownership. You got to do something with Boone because they're not playing inspired baseball. They're not playing good baseball at all. And Volpe, he continues to sail him into freaking right field. You know what I mean? Like the whole thing, fundamentals. There's just nobody. There's no heart right now.
I thought Rodon was going to blow a gasket last night.
I know.
And they have these guys playing. What's his name? Playing third. And they got rid of DJ LeMahieu, who has not been re-signed, has he?
There was rumors that he was linked to another team, but I didn't see him. He hasn't landed anywhere yet
either. But that'll probably happen after the trading deadline. Makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
You should do that. But LeMahieu was starting to hit, and all of a sudden now they got guys playing, and like even like Ben Rice. Everybody, I swear to God, I know this sounds racist. Whenever there's a good-looking young white guy on the Yankees,
you're not wrong,
who hits a home run in the first 5 at-bats of his career, he stays in the bigs a year and a half before someone goes, he kind of stinks. I feel that way about Volpe, Ben Rice. Like, everybody's like,
no, I like Ben Rice. I think there's definitely potential there. The problem is now people have a hard on for what Spencer Jones is doing in the minors. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're all excited about this. But the minute you bring him up and he goes 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts in his debut, you're going to be like, that was dumb. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's baseball is too long of a season to get the small sample size. Like, I was big on Volpe when he came up. Big, right? But then I'm like, eventually this year in particular, he was hitting the cover off the ball with the torpedo bats in the beginning of the year. And you're like, oh, Volpe added some power. Look at this guy. And then all of a sudden, like that,
you know what?
If you're batting no-go.
If you're batting 220 and you're making critical errors. Now, Boone said, he's only made 4 or 5 bad errors. But
he leads the league. And no, he leads the league in errors.
Got 12.
I believe
he's got 12. Yeah, that's a lot.
It's most in the majors.
And it's only July.
Right.
So
set a freaking record.
So that's another thing. And also, again, we've covered this. They're not really, I got to be honest with you, the only 2 guys I really want to watch bat are Judge and Stanton. And Stanton for the train wreck effect. He either hits the ball 500 feet or he strikes out quickly. But, like, he actually is taking pitch. He's walking now. Like, what? I think the rest of the batters should be like, hey, our buddy Giancarlo's getting on base a lot. Well, why don't we do that and we can't hit the ball?
I think that's well, and any baseball fan will know this, but, like, the better statistic right now is your OBS. Your on base percentage. How many times can you get on? Like, you cannot be just a statue at the plate and then just not be able to hit the ball either when you do swing. It's like, I don't know. It's very frustrating. I don't know.
It's very frustrating. Plus, they're a bad base running team. Guys
are
always
fundamentals. That's why it goes back to me. That's why it goes back to Boone.
Yep. Listen, I gotta be honest with you. They're only 2 games up on the wild card.
There's a shot. There's a collapse and we don't make the playoffs.
I'm going to make the prediction right now. I say the Yankees don't make the playoffs.
They won't make the playoffs if they stay complacent at the deadline. This team is not going to the playoffs.
I agree with you.
No.
Another team that everyone's just like, there's like especially on Facebook, like, well, the Mets, this is our town. I did a little deep dive on the Mets. I think the Mets stink as bad as the Yankees do, and here's why. You know why? They're paying like $90 million for 2 players. And their batting averages are 248 and 256. I'm sorry. If I'm Vinny from Queens, I'm sorry, Soto. I don't care.
Well, your boy's about to have a stroke. Fat Frank or whatever from Barstool. He's ready to heal over, to be honest.
I don't understand. It's like, hey, Lindor, you're not just a guy making 17. You're not LeMahieu. You're making big money. What is Lindor making? Like 40, $35 million a year?
Probably something like that.
For 248? No. And then you got those 2 guys shit in the bed. Alonso's batting average, I feel like he hasn't got a hit in a month and a half. And they have 2 really good players besides obviously Lindor and Soto. Senga, 1.79 ERA, stud this year. And Diaz, everybody's heartache and crazy. He's really been awesome for a long time now.
My dad goes, the game, like they almost blew the game on Sunday. I was at my dad's house. And he's like, if I'm not mistaken, he's got to be at the Woodbridge Brewery like today. And I was like, and sure as shit, like he showed up after the game. Like, he was doing a signing or whatever. And I'm like, oh, all right. Like, what if that game went to extras? It's like, then you got to like cancel shit and people prepaid tickets and you got to reschedule. But yeah, he showed up in with all his trumpets,
the horn and all that. But listen,
there's excitement when they're winning. Same with the Yankees, but the Yankees and the Mets are very similar right now.
Yeah, Mets can't hit either. They need the Mets and Yankees. If they don't make moves, I don't know. One of them will probably make the playoffs, I guess. Obviously, the National League's much tougher. Anyway, that's my take on that stuff. Both teams are just not that good right now. I'll leave it at that. Of course, good news on the Jimmy Palumbo front. Another booking here at Shea. I booked a spot. I can't go into detail, but it is for DraftKings. I'll be shooting that next week. Very exciting. These commercials pay. And this one's definitely a national one. You're going to see it. It's got a star in it. I have a couple
Can't release the star?
I don't know.
Doogie Howser. But anyway, whatever.
There you go. Yeah.
We'll go with that.
I didn't stand by name.
So it's whatever.
That is true. He has done the spot. So Neil Patrick Harris. I didn't sign an NDA. At least I don't think I did. But I'm not going to tell you what's in the spot. DraftKings.
You're going to get a text. Hey, you've been unbooked for your Jimmy Palumbo show.
First of all, there's a couple of things you want to be involved when it comes to commercials. You want to be involved in drug companies. You want to be involved in insurance companies.
And gambling.
You want to be involved in gambling companies. Everything that kills you, it all comes around. You die, you get sick from gambling, and you go to the hospital, and all sponsored by the Jimmy Palumbo Show here.
Listen, DraftKings is a big, and you said it yesterday when you texted me, you're better Jimmy Day, and then 5 minutes later, it's like, oh, by the way, I just landed a national commercial. I'm like, whoa, see how that's
I was dealing with some crap, and then all of a sudden,
usually how it happens.
That's how it works right there. Anyway, so that'll be fun. We'll shoot that next week. I think it's next Thursday or something like that. NFL camps, we chatted briefly about it. The Giants, look, Giants, I hate this this is awful what I'm about to say. They can't be worse. You know what I mean? Like 3 wins. In other words, the record, 3 wins. When's the last time?
Wait, they won 3. They didn't win 3 games last year, did they?
I think they did. I think it was 3. And
what pick did they have in the
maybe
draft?
It was third.
Yeah, so I guess maybe I thought they won like 4 or 5, but I could be. I guess I'm wrong.
Maybe you know what? Maybe they did. Anyway,
it's so
their
bad.
Record,
not scarred in your head.
I guess their record could be worse because they open up with some tough teams, but I don't think they could be worse as a fan watching it. I don't. Last year was a very bad year for the Giants. I
think their strong suit right now is their defense got a little better.
Right.
I think they got a little better, and they were playing well last year defensively. They just couldn't score, and then you add a whole bunch of quarterbacks, not just one, not just 2, 3.
I think their quarterback room is better. So yeah,
their quarterback room is definitely better than last year. But the problem is, you will not see, unless catastrophic injury, you will not see Jackson Dart suited up unless both guys go down.
And he's a rookie, so you got to deal with it.
That's how the rules are in place.
I don't know where Jameis Winston's going to fit in. Be honest with you, it depends on how
right now he's their backup. Like that's
he could get cut. I think
it's possible.
It cost some money, but. I just don't think I'm not going to make predictions yet on how many games the Giants are going to win. I'll be shocked if the product on the field is worse than last year, unless injuries. By the way, anytime you do any kind of predictions, the word injury is like, look at the Jets. They were all fired up.
There's no conversation to be had unless you say on paper or if healthy.
If healthy. I know Dallas, of course, your favorite team there. Jerry Jones is just
he can't help himself.
He can't. He says stupid shit.
Shit.
You know what? Yes, he ends up writing the check anyway. So
I always, and that's why I tell Cowboys fans that I know either on Twitter, which is most of my Cowboys shit's on Twitter. Like I tell everybody, like, you guys can bark to the moon as much as you want, but at the end of the day, there's going to be a new deal. Micah Parsons is going to set a record for highest paid, whatever the fuck. It's going to happen. It's just we got to deal with the mouthpiece and the insanity known as Jerry Jones. Yesterday, Brian Schottenheimer went on record and said, look, we love the fact that he's here, because he's at camp without a new deal, right? He's not going to hold out. He's going to participate, all that shit, which is great. That's a leader, right? That's a leader. But then, like, after a really positive statement, there was like a moment of silence. And then Jerry was like, well, just because you pay the man doesn't mean he's going to be available. He got hurt 6 games last year. And it's and then Dak Prescott missed 2/3 of the year. I'm like, hey, Jerry, could we have some positive vibes for the first time maybe ever? It's bad.
It's God, it's just crazy. I'm going to say something about Parsons, and you can totally rip me a new asshole. And this is going out to my brother Frank. Mm-hmm. We used to laugh coming off of Lawrence Taylor, okay? A guy named Michael Strahan, Hall of Famer, all this stuff. My brother one day at a game, a couple of years before his final season, my brother had sitting in the stadium just goes, this is funny to me, and this is funny to asshole Giant fans like myself. He goes, you know what? I don't remember Strahan making a big sack. Like he's got numbers. He's got because it came up that he has leading the league or leading this, right? And all of a sudden my cousin Joey was like, yeah, me neither. So he didn't 3rd and 5 here 6 seconds ago. Whoa, Strahan, boy. And he goes, I think he had one good sack in the Super Bowl. So I think I'm going to put Parsons. I think Parsons, his stats are nuts. I mean, he's on his way to being in the Lawrence Taylor, Strahan, who's the other guy?
Reggie
from the
White,
Eagles,
guys like
Reggie
that.
White.
Mhm.
But I guess because the Cowboys aren't that good under him so far.
It gets lost based off of team success.
Yeah,
That's
but
always going to be a thing.
I don't remember like a minute and a half to go. The Chargers 3rd and 9, and
There's been a few moments where Micah Parsons has rose.
Would you agree though that he's like, it's like he hasn't had like a big moment or a bone crushing moment where I just feel like he's a little bit of a compiler right now. I don't know.
Even in the seasons, all right. So it's point blank period. The seasons where they go 12-5 and they're the 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed, whatever, right? Those seasons, 12-5 seasons in a row. You think about Micah Parsons on how dominant he was on defense because he was. But then when you lose the playoff games the way they do, you don't talk about Micah Parsons because he doesn't do anything to change the game. So like when you get to the postseason,
maybe that's what it is. I feel like whenever
he doesn't have
the
that
Cowboys
defining,
are playing.
Hey, the Cowboys finally got over the hump and got to the NFC Championship game because of a strip sack by Parsons. Hasn't happened yet, so that's why.
I want to know of all his sacks, how many came against the shitty Redskins and Giants. I feel like he's got 100 sacks and 90 are against the Giants and the Redskins. I don't know.
Like I said, he's got some big moments, but again, they haven't translated to the national stage because the Cowboys
he gets nicked up every year. But you know what? I think now just about every player, outside of the Mannings, everybody gets hurt now, it seems.
There's no such thing as a healthy player anymore.
It's just so anyway, I guess they got to. Yes, Cowboys will pay him. Yeah. Unless you don't know, because Parsons has a podcast. He could be a little bit of a jerk. So maybe he's going to say, "You don't pay me, I'm out of here." But
JJ Watt decided to chime in yesterday, and I tweeted right back at JJ. I said, "With all due respect, sir, with all the accolades you have, I was like, none of what you're saying is making any sense." He thought that the certain line that he retweeted was a dig at Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons saw it and retweeted it. So they're like, "Oh, Micah's agreeing with JJ." I hate all this shit, man. Just get on the field and play some fucking football.
As much as you hate it, though, you love it because that's.
I mean, it makes Jerry loves it. I don't love this shit. I hate it. Like that documentary is going to come out next month. I can't wait for it. But at the same time, do we really need the fucking documentary right in the middle of preseason?
Oh, it's on Jerry Jones.
It's on the Dallas Cowboys. All like every untold story ever that like they followed him around. It was just. I can't wait. It's going to drop, and then people are going to be like, "Oh, so we did blow with Michael Irvin?"
Yeah, but is it? Yeah, is it going to be a fluff piece or a good...
No? It's basically just going to be about like the acquisition of the Cowboys, the '90s dynasties, and what they've done since, which is a whole lot of nothing.
I couldn't. I had trouble watching the Celtic one. It made me sick.
Listen, I watched the Last Dance and thought it was fascinating until I realized, man, had this fucking team not existed, the Knicks would have won some titles.
Well, I hated that because they didn't touch upon how the Knicks, every Knick game was a 2-point game with 30 seconds.
Right.
And they glossed over that. And the fact that his father got murdered and there was gambling allegations over it. It's like, his father sadly got killed in a car on a
perfect analogy here. It's like Mattingly. If he won a World Series, he'd be remembered and revered.
Correct.
People don't.
He actually hurt his back too.
You're right. I mean, he had a stalled out career as well.
To me, the big, the NFL stories are definitely Rodgers with the Steelers, how that's going to fly. I say he sucks. Are the Chiefs, is this unbelievable reign of terror going to finally, I think I'm going to make a jerk off prediction right here that I think the Chief thing's going to come to an end. It can't go on like this. They just never lose. They got the best quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks, and the best coaching staff and organization. They're just like, I don't know why everybody doesn't want to go play with the Chiefs. We'll see I think that's a storyline. Can Mahomes do it again? The Eagles,
the AFC just keeps getting better and better with the Ravens, the Bills, the Bengals. They're all going to be in the mix.
And of course, the Eagles. I'm nothing against Barkley. I'm sick of them. I am so sick of the Eagles. There's no. I've told it. When your team stinks and the guy you got rid of is like winning Super Bowls and going to Disney World, it makes it worse. I swear. If the Giants were 13-3, I would be like, you know what, we're still pretty good too. But when your team is, you can't watch after Halloween. You know what? That's be the new thing. Can the Giants stay in the playoff hunt? In the hunt, that everybody knows what that means. When there's like 11 teams after Halloween, could we be in the hunt?
Cowboys won 2 games in a row last year or something like that, and we were like, I don't know, 4 games under 500, and then we popped up on one of those in the hunt things. I was like, oh. on the hunt, Getting excited. I'll make a prediction right now for my Cowboys on July 22nd, 2025. I can't tell you how the season's going to play out. I can't tell you how Dak's going to play. I can't tell you anything. The Jersey Boys podcast is coming back today. As a matter of fact, I'm going to sit down with Brett and Keith. But I will say we are beating the Eagles on night one. That is my bold prediction. They're going to raise their banner. They're going to feel good about themselves, and the Cowboys are going to go in there and kick their ass. I got a feeling, man.
Chiefs got smoked on their banner day. I rarely root for the Cowboys. I do, but I got to.
I think America. If you're not an Eagles fan, I think America is going to pull for America's team on that one. I think so.
I'll be rooting for the Cowboys. I can't take it anymore. I'm a beaten man. Anyway, I'll make other predictions in the NFL by Halloween. 2 names we're going to be talking about every week: Shador Sanders and Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones will be playing in the NFL. That's my
He's already
prediction.
playing. He's the backup for Anthony Richardson.
I think he's going to be he's going to be in the game. He's going to do just fine, and we're going to laugh. That's my prediction. It's out there. It's July. I'm allowed to have lousy predictions. All right. And of course, all this, if you can't see shit, you should go to Absolute Eyewear. Getting involved, 42 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey, 732-326-3937 or 326.
Eyes.
There you go. You said that flat. 732.
I only said it. I said it flat because you didn't start with the area code. That was a fast-paced one. You're like 326. I'm like,
sometimes we gotta,
keep me on my freaking toes here.
I'm like a young Peyton. Omaha. All right. So go there. Craig and Johnny Mashaw. They have full-service opticians. They got everything. Ray-Ban, Coach, Ralph Lauren, Jimmy Choo, and all. They have also yawning glasses.
Tried to get off camera for that.
Anybody listening to the show?
It's been a long morning, man.
You know what? Hey,
Took
Mom,
my daughter to gymnastics this morning.
Listen, I'm going to talk directly to my mother. She's in the car right now. Hey, Mom, Dave Sturcho just yawned in my face. And Janine, if you're listening, your boy Dave Sturcho, while I'm doing your ad.
I haven't seen Janine in I can't even tell you how long. It's like she's never at the office. She's never working, and then when she is working, she's getting bit by cats and shit. It's like, it's like, what are we doing?
Bottom line is, he just yawned in my face. If you listen, Dave's teaching a show called cohost.com. It's a great listen. What you do is you drink water during the thing, and you yawn in the
people can't drink water. Listen to you. If anybody wants, you know what? I'll tell you once. I'll do you one solid. Next week, I'm going to record the first 5 minutes prior to recording. And I'll show everybody what I have to listen to in Jimmy's prep. Jimmy has no idea what he's doing.
You know what? I'm not yawning in your face.
Oh, my God. I tried to go off to the side, and it didn't work.
Anyway, go check them out. Absolute Eyewear, Jay Bird and Craig. And, of course, Charles Oakley is behind the counter there. So
Charles Oakley fits you for corrective lenses. That's what Tyson Hogan said.
There you go. Oakley for 3. Got it. We're tied. All right. First of all, yesterday I did a tortuous task that I thought was going to be fun. I got all the beer league auditions. We're casting 3 roles. And
is this happening? Is this still happening? Because I've got no updates whatsoever.
We are shooting beer league the pilot at the end of August for sure. Because somebody wrote a check. I had to sit through 35 auditions for 1 role. Each character, 35 auditions. And it's the same script. And you got to go one, and you got to take notes because I got to compare them with the director and the other producer and some other people. And my manager's son is auditioning.
Are they new roles?
The one producer.
We took nobody from the original cast?
I'll talk to you about that off air. I don't want to give it away now. There'll be one person for sure. I'll talk to you about that in a second. But man, as an actor watching other people audition, and here's what happens. I guess it's like an athlete watching someone else play. First of all, some auditions, they were like some of the women's good-looking guys, like really like young Hollywood kind of thing. And it's like, dude, take a little more effort with your camera and your lighting, And then other people, though, had really shitty camera work, everything, but they were nailing the part. I'm like, look at this. It's like Sandlot ball. They're ripping base hits. But then some people they just miss. They just don't. they just miss. And I wonder how much this happens to me. Like you just read it all wrong. You know what I mean? Like you didn't read the script properly.
I wonder if it has anything to do with their knowledge of the original movie.
Well, okay, here's a funny thing.
Because you got to have that certain tone. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, you got Manganelli, right? Manganelli. People said Manganelli. They were mispronouncing his name. It was. I
That's
get
how you
the
know
Johnny,
the original,
the Johnny Trino thing, but it's always Johnny Trino. It says it all over. And now coming about a hell, the word Trino. And I get people can make that mistake, but some people were saying Trinio. Come on, man! Like, do a little. I'm sure I made mistakes.
You're disqualified right from there. You're not a fan. You're out.
But then, of course, there was a few LSU people that showed up. The auditions that they always get. Then you realize they can't catch, but still, they definitely get an invite for sure. You know? Right. They show up and they might have
that red tag in the locker quick, but who cares? You know,
you toss a few give and goes and whoa, look out, you know. But it's really unique as an actor to watch. I actually get uncomfortable during it. Like I'm like, oh my God, they're reading this so wrong. But they might be good actors. They're just, and I say to myself, I've auditioned. You know, I've been doing this 35 years. So as I'm watching this, I'm like, there's no doubt I shit the bed on, because sometimes you do really well. You don't get the part for various reasons. But I'm thinking to myself, man, have I probably misinterpreted lines and script or punchlines? The only thing I think I'm pretty good at is I don't miss punchlines. Except for one time, I'm sure I told the story on the air. It was for like a commercial or a comedy, I forget. And it was like a punchline. And I did the audition and I got outside and I heard one of the other actors reading the line. And then I realized, oh my God, you know what? I missed it. I was like, so I read a punchline so flat because I thought it was just like expository. Meanwhile, it was a joke. Oh my God. I wanted to kill myself on the ride home.
Now, can you look at some of that film? And regardless of their pronunciation of a character's name, you could see a little something, and then maybe ask them, "Hey, can you send another?
Well,
can you do it over?"
There was some people. There was one girl who was really beautiful, but she had like a real Irish look. She had kind of like reddish auburn hair, beautiful. And the camera was, but I'm like, she mispronounced everything, but there was little moments where she nailed the script. There was beats in there that I thought she really, really nailed, and which was really cool to watch on that. I didn't do the. I've just started my son character. We just started that audition process. Hopefully, in the next 2 days it'll be done. Then we have callbacks, and then we're going to pull the trigger, and then we're going to set dates up. But I think it's going to be August.
Can you know? And this is, I'm not an actor by any stretch. I just play one on this thing, but like. Can we also make sure that these people have played a sport once in their life? Because you know, the fielding scenes of the original, I'm like, has this guy ever thrown a fucking baseball before in his life? It makes me nuts.
Just like with you, you're supposed to hit a ball 400 feet. You were hitting like dribblers over.
Oh, get the fuck out! I was hitting a couple monster bombs. Shut up.
No,
and it's been a while. Practice swings, 40 degrees with cut off sleeves. Eat me, bro. No way.
But you also looked the part, which was helpful for sure. Some people just don't. Which, you know what? I'm going to bash Tom on this. Had I been directing it, it would have been a very different scene. Matter of fact, I had to direct it. I think I made you better. But yes, the fielding. So here's what people said. They had to explain at the top about their auditioning. And some people are like, oh, you know, I played softball I've baseball my whole life. I played up to 5th grade. And I'm like, okay, 5th grade.
It shows.
Yeah. And some people are like, I played baseball through high school, played 2 years of college. Then, you know, if you play 2 years of college baseball, you can play. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Some people were like, one guy was like, I'm a gymnast, so I can learn anything. I'm like, okay.
No, the fuck you can't. No, you cannot.
But one guy did not have good player thing. He played like when he was younger, but he read it well. So we gotta figure that out.
He's moved on to the Elite Eight.
Well, I don't even know how, I don't even know this yet. I'll know more next week's podcast. I'll break it down more. But what I feel bad is, matter of fact, I watched him with my buddy. He was like, "Oh my God, Jimmy, I help you do these auditions. Are you gonna call them up and thank them for auditioning?" I go, Dave, I've been doing this 35 years. I've not got one thank you from anybody. But it's like saying, it's like saying, hey, Volpe, thank you so much for the 1 error and 3 strikeouts. Thank you very much. No, you don't get thanked.
You gave it your all.
Yeah, it's none of that. But I do appreciate these actors learning the lines, doing their thing. It's just really, really wild. But now I got to look up their IMDb's. I got to look up their Instagram accounts and all that stuff, which we got to have a little money in the budget, hopefully, to pay you a few dollars to. Matter of fact, I might. You're actually going to be involved in the casting. If I about checking in with someone's
Instagrams and shit.
I hate it, man. And a lot of people say don't worry about your Instagrams and stuff like that.
No, you
and
have
that's
to.
True.
It's part of everything.
And that's true if you're auditioning for Law and Order or a big film with Spielberg and stuff. You can have one follower, your mother, and you do fine. But when you're dealing with something that exists on the internet, and it's a tie game, the tie goes to the Instagram. You know what I mean? So, you can't have like 9 followers, or you're gonna have no. But it was certainly an eye-opening experience. I did learn that technically my auditions are solid. I have a good background, good lighting, good audio. I have a lavalier mic for the reader as well, so he sounds clean. My acting, that's what you don't know about. Anyway, so we're doing that. Also, shout out to my daughter who was at the Zach Bryan concert on Sunday where
Did
Bruce
you go?
Springsteen showed up. No, I didn't go. My daughter went with her 3 other friends from dance, and she had a blast. She had floor seats. She knows every line, every word of this guy, Zach Bryan. It's really cute to see. Like, I remember being younger, I was into Southern rock, and I still know every line from like the Outlaws' first 2 albums. And so, she was jumping up and down. They had cowboy boots on, cowboy hats, all the girls. They were on the floor, which they were in the back part of the floor, which for us, we know like, I'd rather be up looking in. But you know what? When you're 16, man, you're going with a bunch of your friends, and they went there early. They tailgated. Obviously, they weren't drinking, as far as I know. I don't think, no, they weren't. And so they got to experience being in the Giant Stadium parking lot and stuff like that. So that was really cool. She had a blast. And then they took off for Montauk, which is cool. Late that night with Natalie's mother and stuff. So that's crazy. But they got there real early in the morning and stuff. So God bless that. But a shout out to her. She had a blast. And she's like, Daddy, Bruce Springsteen showed up. And they did Atlantic City, which is cool.
Fuck him.
See that? You go to the political stuff.
I don't give a shit. I truly don't care.
So
that's something my old man would say, or something like that. I'm like, fuck that guy. I'm a huge fan of Robert De Niro, and all of a sudden, they're like, you can't like him, and I'm like, what the fuck? What happened?
Listen, I did get her tickets for the final episode of Steve Colbert, but that shouldn't bother me. Anyway,
that show fucking stunk anyway. I don't give a shit. I don't find him funny. That's just me, though.
You know what? Me neither. So
and Jon Stewart. Jon Stewart, sometimes he'll throw a zinger in there, and I'm like, oh, that was funny. But like a lot of the time, I'm like, you're kind of corny. I don't know. Stephen
Colbert's style is not mine. But listen, the guy's successful in showbiz, and he'll
rock
be
on,
around.
right?
And plus, you want that Paramount deal to go through,
right?
That'll do it here. But you know what? I wrote something. I read something that the late night shows. The whole part of the monologues and stuff is to be, So, a woman today threw a garbage can over her head. By the time that show airs, it's already all over the. So the purpose almost of
you're bringing up past shit.
In other words, by 11:30 at night, if something big happens that they can make a joke of, if Madonna gets caught, dating a 19-year-old, it's already been all over TikTok, Instagram, Facebook,
right.
And so your opening monologue's nothing, and then interviews now, podcasts do it. So a lot of these people, like instead of going on the Tonight Show, try to get on Joe Rogan if you're doing I was watching yesterday. By the way, a shout out to my brother-in-law Steve's cousin, who is the kid on Jeopardy. He won 13 days in a row. He's up $300,000. I don't know if you heard about this kid. He's from right where you live, right across the street.
No shit.
Yeah, he's on his 13th day. Matter of fact, I tape it every day. By the way,
my sister-in-law, my
his
brother's
name
wife,
is Riccardi. I forget his first name on the show.
You were with my brother the other night, but his wife finally got a call after like 5 years of waiting for Wheel of Fortune. like out of nowhere.
wow.
Like, oh, you've made it past this round. Now you got to audition and like try out. Like,
Right,
because I
right.
guess there's so many people. She auditioned. She apparently crushed it to the point where my brother's like, you know what? She didn't get it because she's too good. That's why.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh,
That's
all
what
right.
it is. Well, first of all, I got to be honest with you. If I was on Jeopardy, if they put me on Jeopardy every day for 2 weeks, I would get 3 questions right. Number one, it takes me an hour and a half. I have to hit the pause after I tape Jeopardy.
I tell you where I flourish. The teen tournaments.
Yeah.
I'm all over. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm the smartest man
what?
alive.
Listen, and Wheel of Fortune, even if they put the whole entire clue up on the screen, I would still go like, what does that say? I would be, I can't even
Scott
get
Riccardi, he said. Dude is killing it.
Scott Riccardi. He's really doing well. And he's my brother-in-law's cousin's kid. Sorry.
Twice removed, all that bullshit.
Yeah. No, I think it's his pure cousin.
Okay.
Cousin's
Pure.
kid.
He's pure.
Yeah, it's pure. So, by the way, but I think, okay, my sister's going to hate me for this. So I'm watching Jeopardy. I know nothing about the show. Okay. And all of a sudden I'm like, he's doing really well. The guy won 13 days in a row. That's pretty, he's like top 12 in earnings of all time. I'm watching. I'm like, you know what? I think the other 2 people stink. Like,
Leave it up to you. Leave it up to you. You are the wrestling fan that gets on somebody for making a mistake in the ring. Like, this fucking guy he did a triple backflip instead of a double backflip, and you're sitting there with Cheeto dust on your fucking shirt. Like,
that's exactly what the guy Abbott on the Yankees. I'm watching a documentary, and I'm like, you know what? This guy stunk with us, and it's so true. Anyway, I'm like, but some of the people though. Last night he started off shaky, okay, and one guy had like $4,000 already, but the other lady was like, she bet 800, she only had 600. It says negative 200. Like
there was a computer game back in the day when computers first came out of Jeopardy, right? And me and my dad used to play it, but our whole goal
was to be up.
Was to be 0 or maybe a little over. Like there was games we were negative fucking 20 grand. We were like, yeah, we're gonna dig out of this hole somehow. It's so horrible.
But next thing you know, this kid Scott Riccardi. So the other guy has like $4,000. He has like 1,000. I'm like, maybe this is the show he gets beat, because he can get beat. He's going to be in the Tournament of Champions at the months, whatever. But all of a sudden, like, because I'm fast forwarding it, that's how much I hate Jeopardy, because I can't answer the questions. I don't understand the question. I don't know. Even when they give the answer, it's not like you go, what team? And you go, oh, that's right, the Cowboys that year. No, it's like they name a team and you're like, I didn't know the question. I didn't know the answer. And then if they didn't reverse, I wouldn't know the category. In other words, if I got the answer and the clue, and Jimmy, what kind of category? I have no idea. I don't know anything. I didn't even know any verb in the thing. But all of a sudden, he goes on a run. Next thing you know, he had $35,000, and
it was like a white man can't jump run, right? Remember?
It was
something that starts with the letter Q.
and the worst is when they go to the final Jeopardy, right? You have to figure how much you're going to bet. One guy had 0, or he was like, he had no money. So you have to be able to bet the last round. And the host goes, okay, Bill, you have to step aside. We're doing it.
If you're in the negative, you can't even participate.
But he had to walk off. The camera work was shitty.
You're betting money you don't have.
Can you imagine?
Walk of shame off the thing.
There used to be a comedian, Al Martin, who's still a whole bit on it, where they have to wave to the audience at the end, but they keep the negative numbers up. So he's like, I would be up there going, hi, I'm in. He did this joke in front of me and Ari, almost fainted. He's like, da, da, da. He's like, hey, family.
And it just screams negative 600. Like
he goes, hey, everybody, I'm in the hole here. I swear to God, if Artie was on the show, he'd be crying. But anyway, good luck to Scott Riccardi. He knows shit that, like, what the I'd be the worst I'd be the worst game show player ever. Even how about Name That Tune? You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy would be like, oh, that's Tchaikovsky. I would feel like it's almost like the one note on Name That Tune. They should just go, hey, name a song. See if it's the one we're thinking of. You know? Oh, my God. Anyway, so a shout out for that. It's exciting. I tape it. He's on day 13. Anyway. Of course, the Scarlet McKnights, they open up.
Media Day today.
This week. Yep. You know, everybody they open up with Ohio, then they play Miami of Ohio, then they play like Norfolk State.
Sounds like 3-0 to me, Jimmy.
Okay. However, okay. Now you know
It happens every year. They go 4-5-0, and you're like, oh, here's this.
And then all of a sudden, like right around whenever you're getting ready to go to a Halloween party, Rutgers sucks. Always remember that. Matter of fact, I think the biggest costume this year at Party City should be a Rutgers costume during Halloween.
I can pull that off.
Everybody will be like, "Oh, that's scary." Of course it is. We stink. But so everybody's acting like the 3-0, right? And then we're ranked in this Massey. You don't follow college. There's a thing called a Massey ratings. It's a
you told me about this. Yeah.
It's really you got to check it out. It's unbelievable. It's every poll in an algorithm, and it's deadly accurate. Like,
so where are we at?
We're at 46.
Okay.
But the Ohio is only 76, and Miami, Ohio is only 86. And I'm like, you know what? They got returning people coming back. I'm like, we are so not going 3-0. I hope we do. But anyway, another thing is they also have predictions on what percentage of you're going to win a game. And I looked at Penn State's schedule. They have 3 games where they have 100% chance of winning, which I think if you're a coach, all right, guys, this week we got Penn State. We're probably going to lose. Just saying. Based on I remember one year Rutgers had 3 games on their schedule where they had 100% chance of losing. And the other one, Penn State, the 4th game, much better odds. They have a 98% chance of winning. So I just laughed at that. But Rutgers, according to the percentages, should go 5-7 if they win every game they're supposed to. I don't know about this year's team. I know we're going to be better.
You got to go 6-6 to qualify, right?
Yeah, but we got to play Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Hey, listen, maybe they win one by accident. You know, like one of those ones where the other team trips on their own feet.
The big game will, if we go 3-0 somehow, and we'll be favored in all 3 games. Obviously, we play Iowa on Friday night. That's going to be a good one right there. So that should
like last year's Washington game.
Exactly. That's the thing. We were 4-0. We beat Washington, Virginia Tech. Everybody was all fired up, and then that'll do it here. But we did go 7-5, and we should have been 8-4. That awful Illinois travesty. Anyway, I don't want to digress. We'll talk more about Scarlet McKnights as we get closer. Also, did you see the Billy Joel documentary yet?
No.
Dude,
I'm a huge fan too. Dude, I'm a big fan.
I didn't know half the shit. I'm 3/4 of this.
Where is it at? What's
I think it's on. I think it's on HBO. HBO Max, I think, or maybe Netflix. I don't know. Look, it's really good. As a matter of fact, it's only part 1. They're up to just as he gets divorced from his first wife.
Did we get to 80s Joel? Because 80s Joel, there's nothing touches 80s Joel.
Well, there's. It's like no, he's right around.
Tyson Hogan will get that.
There's nothing. Glass Houses, maybe right after Glass Houses, that album. But not really his downfall yet, because he had some ups and down years for that.
Yeah, of course.
And matter of fact,
and now he's got something going on now, right? He's got a disease or something.
Yeah, he's got some. I think his playing is affected, so I know he's not doing.
I think he's done. Yeah.
I think he's doing one more tour. But
wow, God bless. I don't know.
But certainly a tremendous. You know what? It captivated me big time. So go watch the Billy Joel documentary. But the best joke of all time was, he married Christy Brinkley, and he's not a good-looking guy, and he marries the number 1 model in the world at the time, and one of the comedians did this joke. He was like, "Yeah, Billy Joel married Christy Brinkley, but he has that song, I love you just the way you are." He goes, "You didn't give up much there, did you, Billy?" Yeah, I love you just the way you are. Oh yeah, Christy Brinkley. Okay. Really funny joke on that. But there's a lot of cool stuff with his manager, who was his wife, and all that stuff. Very cool. But of course, if you're sitting there watching the documentary and you glance down at your carpets, what do you see, Dave? You see filthy, shitty carpets. My carpets are a little shingod right now myself. So go OxyMagicUSA.com, OXY. Magic, Dave pointing up here with no yawn, no bottle, the good point up. Check it out, Oxy Magic. They're really good. Everything. Talk to Tom and Natalie. The carpet's dry right away. The guys in and out. They're polite, friendly. They move furniture around. Awesome. Dave's used them. I've used them. Please go to and tell them Palumbo sent you here at Shea. What do we got here? All right, we're almost done. In other news on ESPN, scrolling across the bottom, softball.
No.
And
the
Mawa League, we are now the 4th seed. We moved up. And Palumbo was 3 for 4. I'm 21 for 30 this year. And as a 10th round draft pick, coming off a championship season when I was the 9th round pick, 3 for 4, dude, I'm on fire. Plus, I'm playing good in the field. I'll probably shit the bed playoffs on Monday. But in my Potbellies team, a couple beers Sunday afternoon, self-umped up a little bit. I do it for the kids. Yeah, one of your players has to ump. And the rule is you have to be harsh on your own players. Like any close play you pound
Jesus. I couldn't play for that. I couldn't play a league like that.
Yes, you could.
Self-ump?
Well,
it's fucking too cheap to go fucking pay $50 for an umpire.
All we do is they give us balls and bats and the field. That's it.
Oh God.
The Potbellies, of course. I think our playoffs don't start for a while, but it was
you're gonna make it.
Everybody makes playoffs.
Okay.
But our in the Mawa League, all the big players. We had a nice win yesterday. Wasn't that hot? But of course, if your website sucks, go to One Bite Creative. Talk to Brian, 323-316-8064. OneBiteCreative.com for all your website needs here at Shea. Also, if you're not feeling so good about yourself, you got some issues, go to Lisa Ruane, therapist, 201-725-1251. She'll help you out, tell you where to go. You can become a client, whatever you got to do. Please.
If you're watching this video, guys, please like the video. That can't stress that enough. Pushes it to the algorithms and all that bullshit. We're just trying to grow the channel, support the brand, subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this, you're probably already subscribed.
We need Dave is now tracking our progress. We're doing better. Everything's running up. Some things we need a little more growth, but we're definitely growing it in the right way, I think. And hopefully I'll land a good booking that will propel us here at Shea. Plus the NFL starting up. That should be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh Christ, that means this fucking stinks list is back.
It's the best thing ever. Most accurate thing in the world.
Most renowned list in sports.
The NFL, Jimmy Palumbo's NFL stinks list, which is always half the league stinks.
Sound effects still?
Yes, I forgot about that. But we have to time that out.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little more of a produced segment on the NFL.
Oh, are we?
Right away, I can tell you.
That would include me working harder. I don't know about all that.
No, all you got to do, add a button over there? Yeah. By the way, I can tell you right now, the Giants and Cowboys are probably going to be on the stinks list.
We'll see.
But what do I do it before? Yeah, I do the preseason one, and then I start week one. That's how I do it. That should be fun. And that's it. All right, everybody. That's it. The show is over, and that'll do it here from the Omni in Atlanta. Of course, I'm looking at Tyson Hogan.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Bart Scott. All right, ladies and gentlemen. See you later.
I will talk to everybody next week. And that's it. Dave, have a good week, and I'll talk to you later.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good night, everybody.